All right, welcome into Big Hitters Only. It is Saturday, December 20th at 5:44 p.m. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We are not scared to say Merry Christmas here on Big Hitters Only. Happy Hanukkah as well to those who celebrate that. We have a menorah in our house right now that's going to be lit tonight. Spenser, Dalton, what's up, man? Crazy game. Whirlwind game. UNC escapes Atlanta, beating Ohio State 71-70. It was a wild last couple minutes. UNC was up 11 at one point. Went down 3 at one point. I'm pulling up the stats right now. And escaped with a 1-point victory. Make sure that's right. Is that right? Were they down 3 at one point?
Yep, after the 4-point play.
Yeah, so a crazy back and forth there at the end. UNC surely shouldn't have let that happen, and it's kind of interesting. We'll dive into how it happened. But Spenser, give me your general takeaways on this game. Obviously, going to focus a lot on kind of this last couple minutes.
I thought we looked pretty good for 20 or 35, 36 maybe minutes of the game. Looked pretty good. Bad plays here and there. That happens. Went on some great runs offensively. But just let Ohio State chip away right there to the end. Huge bungle, fouling the 3-point shooter, on that 4-point play. Guy hits the free throw. We go down 3 with like a minute and a half left, or just under that. Something. It was
under a minute.
Short time. Yeah, under a minute. But hey, credit to the guys. Get a stop, get a couple buckets, win the game.
Yeah. So UNC was up 11 at the 10:38 mark. Got it back up to up 10. Went down up 10 with 9. So up 10 with 9:01 left. And truly, like you said, just chipping away. I think it was just UNC's defense. They couldn't stop them. And Ohio State, number 2, number 13, just kept making buckets. And it was slow. There wasn't like one big run because UNC kept scoring too. It was just that Ohio State just kept making basket after basket. There was a looks like a 6-point run in there. But anyway, it should never gotten to what it got to. And honestly, that 3-point shot was turned into a 4-point play. That was a great, that was a deep 3. You'll kind of take that attempt anytime.
Yeah, it's short shot clock, like less than 5 seconds. You'll let it. I mean, you don't let a guy shoot that, obviously, but you'll take it.
Yeah, and Caleb Wilson fouls him. That is Mobley, number 0, and that gave Ohio State the lead at 70-67. Made the free throw 70-67. Went down, and there was 34 seconds left, under 48 seconds left, and then Trimble scored immediately off a layup, and then UNC did a trap. So they cut to 70-69. UNC did that full court trap. They kind of a soft trap in the corner, then another soft trap. I watched it, and then got the errant pass that was tipped, and then another pass that Jaren Stevenson grabbed deep on the other side of the court that allowed UNC to set up the winning basket, which is ultimately a drive by Seth Trimble, who tripped at a spin move, and it fell right into the lap of Henry Vasar, who grabbed it and dunked. There were 7 seconds left. Ohio State called a timeout with 4 seconds left and couldn't get off a good shot, had a deep 3, missed it, and then UNC blocked a putback attempt, and that was it. UNC gets the win, moves to, what's their record? I guess they're 9-1 now. Is that right?
11-1.
11-1. That's really bad. 11-1, and it's a win. You thought, I mean, everyone's saying that UNC should handle them easily, and the spread was 4.5, and everyone's telling them to bet that. But they kept it close. Let's just kind of say, let's take a step back now. First game for Seth Trimble back in what seems like 6 to 7 weeks. He was spectacular, I thought. A little slow in the beginning,
Great.
Some miscues, but those threes in the second half, his attacking and his transition thing, that kind of told the story. It's certainly like the Seth Trimble return. What'd you see from Trimble that impressed you most in this game?
He affects the game in a lot of different ways. The one that I noticed the most tonight was in transition and driving the basketball. Seth is a threat running down the wing of the court in transition because they can kick ahead to him because you have to respect him on the drive because of his athleticism. And he's also good passing in transition. He's really good at finding those alleyways that are open. And for one reason or another, we missed that. I mean, we still did okay in transition the last few weeks without him, but so much better in transition today, I think solely because of him. Just having that extra really fast guard who's a threat in multiple ways was a huge help. Let's paint a picture like against Luka Bogovac, who we didn't see a whole lot of today. I think if I had to comment on that, it was just a really physical game. And Luka is a bit more of a finesse player, does not play a very physical style of basketball, offensively or defensively. So I think Hubert just kind of made an executive decision to leave him on the bench for most of the second half. And his shot has been a little cold, so he wasn't adding a whole lot in this particular game. There's a time and place for him in every game, but today was just not really the game for him, I think. But Seth brings so much. And so he's physical. He's a great defender, and he just brings a lot. He brings a lot.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Luka played 5 minutes in the second half. That's very telling. Kai and Evans played 6 minutes in the second half. They both scored 0 points in the second half. For the whole game, Kai and Evans played 16 minutes. Luka played 13. So they combined for 29 minutes. Derek Dixon played 24 minutes total. They went with this lineup at the end. I think throughout the second half, when things were rolling, that was Derek Dixon at the 1, Seth Trimble at the 2, Jaren Stevenson at the 3, Caleb Wilson at the 4, and Henry Vasar at the 5. That seemed, what I thought, I tweeted out, that seems like UNC's best lineup in a game like this that was physical and very fast-paced. Jaren Stevenson, he misses shots, 0 for 4 from 3, but his height at the 3, I mean, it's a jumbo 3. It pays dividends on defense, paid dividends at the end there on that trap and that steal.
Sure did.
At full court, and it's just harder to score when you have a body like that in. If he just made 2 threes a game, it would be a difference maker. Back to Trimble.
No.
So Trimble, visitor stats. Trimble finished with 17 points in 36 minutes, 3 assists, 3 for 5 from 3. Those were all 3 makes were in the second half. He was 6 for 13 overall, not the best shooting percentage, but yeah. I think the best way to say it when you start talking about him is like, you don't know what you have till it's gone, right? And kind of seeing him now is like, damn, we really missed what he brought. Transition, UNC scored 10 transition points. Seemed like more than that. Seth Trimble was directly responsible for 6 of the made baskets and probably more from a passing and attacking. And I think he draws so much attention in transition. You have to mark him, open things up for other people, and he is filling the lanes, and he's fast, and he can score at the rim. I think the big knock on him is if he could score more at the rim, in the half court. He gets there, he just doesn't always have the makes there. And then
the finishes are kind of funny with him sometimes. He goes up without a plan. It seems like he says, he just jumps. He thinks I'm going to use my athleticism, get up in the air, and I'll kind of figure it out. There were a couple of times tonight where I'm like, dude, you had the easy right hand. But he goes up with 2 hands a lot of time and, does this kind of thing. So, I don't know what.
That's
hard to criticize
when
you're that athletic. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to see that change.
Yeah, I mean, that's year 4. That's kind of always been what I've noticed about him. But the 3-point shooting, man, he was searching his shot. He was confident. He was stepping into it. It looked great. And, I mean, he was feeling it there in the second half. That's something, I mean, we've seen it a little bit, but, man, that's missing from his game over his college career. And something his team misses is that perimeter alpha scorer. And he was that in many ways today. If he can continue that, completely changes it, because now you have 3 distinct weapons offensively with Caleb Wilson, Vasar, and Seth Trimble, you can kind of count on to give you 12 to 20 points a game and it gives you. I mean, they're each going to help each other score more
Mm-hmm.
when they are all weapons there. And so Seth Trimble, awesome comeback and to be kind of right in it, making an impact as a rebounder and a defender, and obviously as an offensive player. He finished with got 2 total rebounds. That's surprising. That was more than that.
It
He
is
was plus.
surprising. Yeah. He pulled down a couple of tough ones tonight, and I also thought that number was going to be higher because he is a good rebounder, especially as a guard.
Yeah. Let's quickly Roback promo code BHO20. I'm wearing the full screen on here. I'm wearing the Roback hoodie. I got some Christmas gifts off Roback, so go to Roback, check out their UNC collection, use promo code BHO20 for 20% off. I really appreciate those. We really appreciate those who've been supporting us through Roback. It's been a great promo code to help us pay Connor and Garrett behind the scenes to really get this podcast going. And congratulations to Connor on getting engaged. We now have 4 big hitters who are engaged, 4 active big hitters who are currently engaged. But yeah, BHO20, anything on Roback for first-time buyers. Tell your friends, tell your family to use that promo code. Just get a new email and check it out. Anything on Roback, get your stuff ready for the golf season, polo shirts, Q-zips, pants, joggers, anything. Have tons of stuff. Roback.com, promo code BHO20. All right, Spenser. Are there things, adjustments, issues with with the coaching or how UNC play that you want to point to? Is there anything concerns you had throughout the game that we can talk about now? And I want to get into Henry Vasar and Caleb Wilson, which is certainly a segment every game about how good those guys have been consistently throughout the season.
Yeah, a couple things. We did not rebound worth of crap in the first half on defense, especially. Ohio State got a ton of offensive rebounds and second chances. We got lucky, especially in the first half, that they didn't shoot the ball very well. I think both teams were, roughly speaking, 4 for 15, 4 for 20.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of missed three-pointers in the first half. And that changed in the first half. And the interesting thing about that to me is I've watched some of Coach Davis's pressers. I've watched post-game interviews and things like that. And he says that they preach rebounding on both ends of the floor every single day, all the time. And so it's just a matter of getting guys to actually box out and do it. And they didn't do a great job of it in the first half. He gets on them at halftime. Guys, we got to rebound better. And they rebounded much better in the second half on defense. They did not get as many second chances in the second half. I think the thing that I question sometimes, and I think it's a two-edged sword, is the switching that we do. They switch everything, basically everything. Sometimes off the ball they don't switch. Sometimes if it's a guard like Evans or Derek Dixon with a big man, so really Vasar, they don't switch that high ball screen just so that we don't get a small guard going up against Vasar and he picks up a crappy foul or something like that. But I'm thinking about tonight, like Thornton, for example. He is so good about just getting around that ball screen really quickly, getting his defender on his back. And so, I wonder sometimes if switching is the best option as much as we do it, because now that we have Trimble back, we want him guarding their best player. That's a guard. And so if you switch, you immediately lose that matchup. And we have so much size and athleticism across the board, I think. We were talking about Stevenson earlier. I mean, he can guard guys who are a lot smaller than him, and it becomes an advantage some of the time. But you lose matchups that you want sometime on the defensive end. So that's where I question it sometimes. But it's also, we do have that size and athleticism, so it's not always a problem because you're able to just guard guys out of position really easily. And we do a good job of defending the rim between Vasar and Wilson and Stevenson as well. So it's not always a huge issue, but there are times when you want a certain matchup and a switch, you just lose it. So that would be one of the things that I question some of the time.
Yeah, we talked about it at the top. Like, I thought Ohio State, and they're a good team. I think they're a tournament
Yeah,
team. I
physical,
think yeah,
tough team.
they've left only 2 losses to Pitt and Illinois. They should be right there, probably top 30. They're not ranked right now, but probably right outside um, the top 25. And it's a good team, and they had some players who kind of had their way at times when they needed a bucket, could score a bucket, and that I think will be UNC's Achilles heel is defense at times. And I think getting Trimble back will help, but when Kai Evans and you don't pick these guys, but Kai Evans, Luka Bogovic, there's times when they're not physical enough or not quick enough or not athletic enough, and a better perimeter player at 6'5", a couple of those guys look big, kind of burly guards, got past
Yep.
them easily and got to the rim. And I think you kind of touched on that with the switch too. It plays a factor in that as well. So I think that will be a big Achilles heel. But one thing I did think about when they were going this run, it was the end, is like, if UNC does get a stop, you feel confident with UNC's offense, with the
Yes.
weapons and just having that big man, the two big men with Wilson and Vasar, can kind of clean things up. And, it's a good shot that, UNC's going to get a basket when they need to because of how many weapons they have. And having the big men to kind of clean things up is an advantage in these late game situations because of the putbacks. I mean, with the ball
Absolutely.
finding Vasar and him having no problem dunking that. I did think UNC got lucky. I mean, that was a lucky play that the ball,
Yeah.
it was a triple team there and it kind of fell in his lap. I mean, that was not by design. One angle looked like it was a pass, but we watched it again and it was not a pass. But I feel good about UNC being able to get a basket when they need to. And these games are huge. Like, this is another thing. I'm sure, this is what the pundits will say, like, going through these games in those moments and winning by one and having to play in these tight butthole situations are huge come January,
Yes.
February in the ACC. You've been there, Spencer. There's tons of games that'll go just like this. It's going to be a dark January in Tallahassee or Blacksburg or Chestnut Hill. I'm not sure if UNC even plays there, but you know how these games go. It's like a Tuesday night,
Sure.
9 p.m. And, they won't be on the right end of all of them, but having gone through this one today in the CBS Sports Classic will help them, be better in those moments. So coming out with a win in the situations. UNC's been on the opposite end of these things plenty of times too. They've won plenty of games like this as well.
Yeah. That's a credit to a few things. Certainly great individual plays. I think we were down one when Wilson got the ball on the short corner, kind of post up, and he missed a turnaround jumper as the double team was coming over, and he just missed that one. He made like two of them earlier in the game. He's been making a couple of those every single game. Wilson shooting that turnaround jumper off a post up is something that you're okay with. But sometimes you miss them. So Hubert does a really good job of calling those sets in late game situations. We can talk about, okay, the freelance offense could be better just in the flow of the game and things like that. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty in the last couple of minutes of the game and we need to play, they've done a great job this year executing and getting buckets when they have to.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers there. You have to give them.
Yeah. I have a friend who I text with a lot during games and I actually talked to him on the phone today. I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but he doesn't want to reveal his face. I'm going to read him his text because he does not think that what you think, Spencer.
Interesting.
All right. So he said, this is like when it was a 2-point game. I'm going to read these texts live. If you have a kid in the car, close his or her ears, his or their ears. This collapse brought to you by Hubert Davis. Fucking loser. Fuck me, man. What is Hubert doing? Calls a timeout and the play call ends with a Caleb fadeaway against the double team. How the fuck is he the coach? Then he gives up a 4-point play. Are you kidding me? He calls a timeout to set up a play. Then there's no play. Possession ends with a double team fadeaway. Hail Mary from Caleb. Then Ohio State kills us with a 4-point play. Hubert will absolutely fuck up this last play too. He did and was saved by luck. We'll fix that though and give up an easy shot for them to win. Caleb, my God, we'd win a national championship if Hubert weren't the coach. And I was like, dude, come on the pod. He goes, I'm too amped for the pod. I may say some things about Hubert that would get us all canceled. and there are a lot more F-bombs. He is so effing dumb and useless, saved by luck and Caleb's ridiculous athleticism. All right, anyway, it's a lot. I didn't know he was how many F-bombs there
Wow.
were, but that's how some fans feel that way. This guy's irrational. He's crazy. You have to talk him down every game. But yeah, I do think this season the set play has been better, and UNC's won some games because of it. You know, you're going to miss a shot. I don't love a fadeaway in the corner as a shot in the closing seconds. I do like getting Seth Trimble going downhill and having a
Yes.
big man kind of there to clean things up. That's what you want because you get them downhill, and then there's a couple options on the perimeter if things are closed down at the rim. You have Caleb Wilson and Vasar, like I said, kind of in that perimeter of the paint to clean things up. So that's what I love to see. Let's talk quickly about Vasar. Dude, he's gotten better and better. We were hating on him a little bit early about his rebounding physicality. You still see some of that. You're seeing less of it. He plays with the energy, enthusiasm. Yep. He's always yelling and kind of getting on the refs and getting on his teammates and jacked up. I know I'm talking really fast, but Vasar finished with 17 points. A lot of those just on easy dunks. 7 for 12 from the field. 10 rebounds. 5 assists. That's crazy. From your starting center to have 5 assists, a lot of them big to Caleb Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
1 block, 2 turnovers, 4 fouls, 32 minutes, and he had the highest plus minus on the team with 6. Just a long 7-footer who's dunking everything and then hitting the threes. We talked about it. 2 threes for Vasar.
Huge.
Both just get you jacked up. Your thoughts on what he's done so far this season and how he looked tonight against Ohio State?
I mean, we've seen him evolve into from a bit of a question mark into a real force. Full stop. His ability to step out and bury 1 or 2 threes a game is huge because you have to respect him out there, and he is a great passer from the top of the key, especially in that high-low action. To my memory, there was no high-low action in the first half, at least that resulted in a bucket. And we went to it a couple of times in the second that ended in a Wilson bucket. So great kind of adjustment there, looking for that high-low action. I think he threw one away on kind of a diagonal pass. I mean, textbook basketball play is you get the ball in the post and you look to the opposite wing. That diagonal pass is great to set up 3-point shots. So either the first guy or they hit the guy on the wing and he passes to the corner. That happened in the first half. I think Powell hit a 3 in the corner there after Vasar dished one out to the opposite wing. And so, you love to see that. He's got good vision. Sometimes I wish he wouldn't dribble it. I wish, he could just make kind of a simple move, but, that's kind of splitting hairs there. So just a great all-around game from him. I love his energy, like you said. To make a comparison, like Armando Bacot, he played more with his game. He wasn't the most vocal guy. And yes, he was energetic, but he wasn't getting in guys' faces, good or bad. He might push them around a little bit, but he wasn't getting in their face or anything. And so I just love his energy and that enthusiasm that it brings. I mean, it's great to feel like we have vocal leaders this year because that was something that wasn't there last year. I mean, the 2 leaders of the team, was Bacot on the team last year? I don't even remember.
No, RJ Davis.
No, RJ Davis. Not a vocal leader
Cadeau.
Type of guy. Cadeau, not vocal leaders. But, 2 years ago, Cormac Ryan, huge enthusiasm, vocal leader type of guy, and you got to have those. I mean, every great team has vocal leaders, so I love that we get that from Vasar.
Yeah, and like his length it's such an impact on defense having Caleb and Vasar with that length inside. I mean, blocks is a stat, but it's so much bigger with how much you affect shots.
Yeah, it's just altering shots.
Oh, I mean, and just not allowing even teams to get into the lane to take shots because of how intimidating having those 2 shot blockers there is. It's a complete game changer in the length in the lane, how that changes teams' approach to offense. One thing I particularly noticed today with Vasar is how quickly he attacks the rim from the post. There's no extra movement. It's get the ball and go to the rim. If he catches it within 10 feet. Did you say that? Did you talk about that? Like, catch the ball and go. And then Caleb Wilson's the same way. It's one move. They've been taught that. It's clearly like, look, You get the ball and you attack. If there's any room, you take one step and up or up and under. And
Yep.
both those guys have just great instincts inside. And when you're that tall
Hmm.
and that big and that athletic, like it pays off with their success in the paint.
Yeah. One
Wilson.
thing that I like about both of them is when they catch the ball on the block or kind of in the short corner, they both can spin both ways. You know, a lot of guys are only comfortable spinning as a right-handed player to their left shoulder to get to that jump hook or that kind of that one dribble with the dominant hand. Both of them spin both ways, so they can catch it on either side, spin to the middle, or spin to the baseline. And
Mm-hmm.
that's difficult to guard because, you know, as a defender, you want to force a guy one direction. I mean, that's kind of just basic basketball, is that you try to force a guy either to his weak hand or, you know, to away from the way that he likes to turn. And the way that they can both spin both directions is a real threat. And they do a great job of feeling that defender on their
Mm-hmm.
back and making
Exactly.
that quick move, you know, spin one direction, one dribble, two dribbles at most, dunk it, lay it up. I mean, they both have real good skills in that regard.
Caleb Wilson was held to 4 points in the first half, exploded in the second half. He finished with 16 in the second half for a combined 20 points, 9 for 16 from the field, 15 rebounds. There was a stretch there where he was getting every rebound on the defensive end, getting a lot of offensive rebound and putbacks. A lot of his baskets, it wasn't like a very fancy Caleb Wilson game. Maybe a dunk in there, but mostly kind of putbacks and scoring around the rim and just using his athleticism and size and positional awareness to score. Yeah, I mean, 2015, and it almost seemed like it was a quiet 2015 for him. Um, you know, I'm not trying to think of a big play that stood out to me from him, but definitely just kind of consistent points in the second half that gave UNC that 11-point lead. They eventually gave up, but he was actually -8 for the game too, which is strange. The lowest plus minus.
Wow.
I mean, anything else on Wilson? I mean, we've said a lot about him, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
I'll nitpick here. I'll nitpick. Very last play of the game, he was guarding the guy in the corner, way away from where the shot took place. And his man just ran right by him baseline. He didn't even bother to box out. That ball falls off the rim on the far side, and Caleb Wilson makes the Caleb Wilson play, jumps up, and he gets kind of a tip block. But
Mm-hmm.
those are the things I mean, if that ball falls on the same side as the rim as that guy was coming from,
Mm-hmm.
he's putting it back in. He's
Yeah.
just putting it back in for the win. So, you know, little things like that. I mean, those are game-winning, game-losing plays sometimes in March. I mean, so I don't know. Again, if we had the nitpick, that's one thing, but you can clean that sort of thing up.
Yeah. Well, that's it, guys. Appreciate you listening. Remember, guys, Rowback, get your sweatshirts, polos, tons of stuff. Check out Rowback, not just UNC stuff, but awesome UNC stuff. But some of the other stuff that's not licensed gear is a little bit less expensive. Promo code BHO20 really helps us produce the show with the graphics and obviously the editing and publishing and stuff that Garrett and Connor do behind the scenes. A thrilling game. Like, these are the fun shows to do. Spenser and I were texting the whole game, and like, it's an awesome game. December 20th, everybody's watching. Um, Tight game, nuts. Like, you kind of a little inside baseball. Like, you don't really know. There's so much going on. It's how it was as a writer. Like, it's hard to remember what happened because you're so
Yeah.
kind of like how did they get down? How is it only a 1 point game right now? And so to write
Yeah.
about it, and to talk about it, you're like, because you're seeing it happen, but there was no like big moment, and all of a sudden that 4 point play, UNC's down 3, and it's like one of those things. Like, all right, they have to get a stop, or they have to score
Mm-hmm.
here. And so the things went UNC's way. I'd say the drive by Trimble, and obviously the dunk by Vasar, and then that defensive call by Hubert, and that kind of soft trap
Mm-hmm.
that evolved, that got the errant pass, was huge to allow for the game-winning basket, and then some pretty good defense there to seal the game. UNC beats Ohio State 70-71 to move to, I'll get this right, 11-1. Next game is on Monday, so another game before Christmas, Monday, December 22nd against East Carolina. A lot of ECU alums are going to have a mental pretzel as they head to the Smith Center for a holiday game. Spenser, really
Jeff
appreciate your
Lebo,
time.
former ECU coach.
That's right. Good pull there.
He was the head
appreciate your
coach.
time.
We played him when I was in school, and he was the coach then. It was a kind of interesting thing there.
That's right. Awesome. Appreciate your time, Spenser. Guys, thanks for listening. Tell your friends, rate, review, subscribe, like, follow. Let's keep growing this thing. And yeah, that's it. Appreciate it, guys.